Welcome back to a nearly midweek, slightly late midweek video. Hey! Okay, before I get started, it's a weekday down here, so sorry if there's tractor noises and music going on in workshops next door. It's the way it is. But yeah, before I tell you what I'm doing, just wanted to make a sort of an announcement, is that Car SOS is back on tonight, Nat Geo if you got it, otherwise you'll have to wait for it to come out on normal channels, don't know when. But yeah, tonight's episode is a leftover one from the previous season, which is where they restore Metro 6R4, which yeah, is pretty much of interest to me. Obviously it's an original 6R4, they'll go into more details I'm sure, but obviously it's nothing like this, but it is like this. So yeah, thanks for everyone that's mentioned it. Loads of people have already said, oh, have you seen it, are you going to see it? Yeah, I'm going to watch it tonight, so that's good. But the bigger announcement is last year I had the opportunity to work with Car SOS on an episode, and I think I can tell you what car it is now because I've seen it actually advertised. Is the Fiat X1. Don't panic, I didn't restore any of it. I just helped them do some parts in the show, which again I won't spoil for you, but it was an amazing couple of days that I'd spent with them last year. I've been trying to keep it a secret, and I have kept it a secret, so yeah, I think it's going to come out on the 25th. Obviously not 100% sure, but it's a Fiat X1 episode. So yeah, if you get to watch that, you might see me, if I haven't been left on the cutting room floor, as they say in the biz. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. I did do a sort of a little video of it at the time and stuff. I'm not too sure if I showed too much of it or not. But again, we'll wait for the episode to come out. But again, watch the 6R4 one tonight. I'm going to watch it. It's always just gets your blood flowing, doesn't it? So yeah. Let's crack on with some stuff down here. So yeah, see me on TV soon, maybe. Okay, what I think I plan to do today is move the battery to the back. At the moment the car's not running because we haven't got a battery connected, no room for the battery, blah, blah, blah. So I'm trying not to spend any money. We've sort of run out of money at the moment on this budget, on this project. So we're going to try and sort of steam across for the next few weeks / month on vapors and just use stuff that we've got around. So yeah. So I think I've got some battery cables somewhere in this unit. So I think what we'll do is we'll strip back some of the wires. Obviously we've got a mains, a positive wire that must go down to the starter motor and split to the fuse box somewhere, and then obviously there's an earth cable as well. So we'll just see where they go to and what we got cable wise. Not too sure, I haven't got any official proper joiners for battery cables, but we'll figure something out. The other thing to do is thank you to an enormous member for sending me a Subaru starter motor. It's a low gear one, and yeah, we might as well try and fit that at the same time and just double check. So that's my idea as well. So thank you, anonymous member. Thank you very much. So yeah, let's get some of the bodywork stripped off and let's see what wiring we got. Up here, so I've got some new tracksuit bottoms from Tesco's. Sports Direct closed and I should have ordered them online and I didn't. So yeah, just for anyone that's expecting a bit of bum crack, you might not see so much. I don't know. You never know. I do say sorry if you don't and you were expecting some bum crack. Maybe turn your eyes away now. I'm just about to remove the air conditioning pipes. Don't need them, do we? It's a rally car. Obviously it's already been degassed correctly before I got the car. Okay, my current thinking, positive. We've got, there's a positive, it actually unbolts from this whole battery clamp, which is nice, and then we did have another wire around here somewhere. Yeah, so that's it. So that goes to the fuse box, that goes to that goes on the battery terminal normally, and that then goes down to the starter. So we still need a cable to go down the starter, and we still need a cable to join up to this. So I'm thinking, well, as this has come off quite nicely, I think we'll just extend it from here. We'll get another battery, we'll get the battery cable. Hopefully I've got some little eyelets and stuff so we can clamp on that and we can make another one of that, belt it together, seal it up for now. Obviously we can get ourselves a nice proper junction box at some point. So that's the positive, and we just leave that as it is. Negative, this goes off down to the starter motor and it has a little fly lead here onto the chassis. I'm guessing there's maybe another one on the engine somewhere, other earths on the engine, but anyway, we don't have to worry about those because they'll already still be there. So basically the key thing is that we still need this wire basically got to go to the earth. So we might cut this wire off because again I don't think this one unbolts as nicely, but we can have a quick look. Maybe it does. And then yeah, we'll bolt this wire to the front of the chassis somewhere, and then obviously we'll create a little earth lead at the back of the car, which is on the battery, down to the chassis as well. May have to run extra cables later on, an extra earth cable, but we'll have to just see what the battery drop's like. But it might not be so bad if we fit this other starter motor, which I may do, I may not, but let's get the battery earth stuff sorted. Alright, spending an hour trying to find the cable and nearly giving up. Thanks for some useful text there from a mate telling me to check some other places, and we found it. I found it anyway. So anyway, got the cable, think it's long enough, we'll just have to see. It's definitely long enough at least now to get the battery somewhere in the back of the car, just so we can at least crack on and get this thing started. So I'll put the battery on charge, huge battery. So yeah, got a bit of cable, got some, but the thing is, terminal ends, so drill a hole in the bulkhead maybe and run it through somewhere, not quite sure where yet, got a little grommet. And yeah, stamp that, got a bit of heat shrink, so we put the heat shrink on first and whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Bosh like that, and then whoop, whoop, whoop. And then obviously, yeah, we'll just bolt it all together somehow like that, and then wrap a load of duct tape around it. Let's have a look. Okay, I think that'll work. Yes, that is a positive bolt just there, just floating around in mid-air, but what I thought I'd do is I'll just wrap a bit of toilet roll around it like that, and that'll be fine, won't it? So yeah, let's try and drill a hole in the bulkhead and move on to the back. Okay, I was going to run it through, there's a spare little hole just in the rubber grommet that all the fuel pipes go through, so I started feeding it through that. But then I realised that actually some point, if we ever leave this building, we may need a kill switch up here. So actually I've run it slightly higher and just through the non-existent bulkhead for the moment. Because obviously, yeah, I don't know about rally specs or whatever, but we'll put a kill switch on the outside at some point. I think I've got one laying around somewhere. But yeah, so ran it a bit higher. So basically just crimp the other end. I'm hoping to have enough cable to actually make an earth cable, but I don't really want to cut it any shorter. So we'll have to find some more things. So we put the old boot on that, which just came off the original car. And we've only got one connection on here now because obviously, yeah, we've teed in down there. Put a little nut on here. We'll tighten that up in a second. Boot goes on. Bang, that's the back lead done. All we need now is an earth lead from the battery to the chassis. Okay, what I was able to do was the earth cable that goes from the engine to normally the plug is quite long because obviously the battery's near the front, so I've chopped it in half, put a new fitting on the back side, truck turning up, so that'll be the earth lead at the back, and then yeah, the other one I've just put another fitting on and gone to the side of the bulkhead. Okie dokie, tractor's finally gone, took a while. So anyway, earth cable strapped just down to any old point at the moment, just clean it up, and we've got the positive cable just running along the mess of what's the floor, but hey, we won't worry about that. Proving the principle, aren't we? Whether that's the final position or not, it'd be nice to get it back further where the radiator, that's not where the radiator's going to be, it's going to stand up, but you know, at the back. But the trouble is you've got the fuel tank there and the anti-roll bar and stuff, so I'm not too sure what's quite under this area here. It'd be nice to sink it slightly. Obviously one day we can get a nice small race battery, but for now that'll do. So before another tractor comes back, let's oh, there's a fuel pump. Okay, you might have heard a little squeak there. That's not a mouse or me doing bodily functions. That's just where it's slightly rubbing the front pulley on the front bumper. But one, it will find its own space, but two, we'll trim a bit out of that in a minute because I think it's worth trying to put the alternator and everything back on. Woo, and we can get it moving again. As you can see, rubby rub, taking a little bit of the rust off the pulley. As I said, We've definitely got room to move everything back one pulley if I get time, but I don't think I will today, because I think it really needs a different alternator or a different connection. Just haven't got the room, because obviously this fitting is so close to the bulkhead, through the throttle body, you can't get it back anymore. Okay, I just popped the alternator and power steering pump back on. Just looking about what I could do with the header tank for the power steering pump, and I don't know, I need to have a think, because I thought, oh, I'll play around with the pipes, but I know I'm very tight on space anyway here. I think, yeah, I know somebody mentioned it before, the older power steering pumps had the reservoir just sat on top there, which I guess could go in. Obviously there's some extra pipe work here which I don't think is on the later ones, but we could fix something. Otherwise, yeah, at the moment this is like a bolt-on fitting with a seal, so it only points out one direction, if you see what I mean. You know, there is only one way for it to go, basically outwards, so I've either got the option of bringing the pipe around that way or try and loop the pipe back and do something. I'm going to go find my southern fried chicken wrap that I got from Tesco's and eat that. Oh, proper scrap heap challenge this now. So yeah, might be able to recognise it. That's a bit of the aircon hose. So yeah, I've used a bit of aircon hose to sort of lengthen that to go to the bottom of the tank. This is the low pressure side, but we'll have to just see if it holds. Let's prove the principle first. I've used a tie wrap. I was modifying the bracket to actually get it properly on there, but I thought let's wait. I think that's quite a good place for it to go. Maybe I'll tuck it back more. But anyway, we've got the air filter and stuff to go in there. ABS pump might still have room for it. We're not too sure at the moment, but yeah, has an option. So yeah, and then the other feed from the steering rack, which again, pretty sure is low pressure, because I think that's the high pressure side there, with no sort of crimp fittings. All the others have got, you know, just clips on them, so you know, yeah, they are a bit of pressure, but not high pressure. Anyway, so I cut that down because it runs along the engine. Cut that down, swung it across, and fed it into the bottom of the tank, or not in the bottom of the tank, but the fitting at the bottom. I think it goes to the top. It's like a return. And yeah, so yeah, it'd be nice not to have that there, but we're proving a principle. We'll top it up with a bit of fluid and just see if it works, I guess. It just allows me to sort of do the steering as well while the engine's going, because if you don't have all that pipes connected up every time you do the steering, it pumps out fluid everywhere, and especially with the pump going. Okay. Whoa. Yeah, I'm not completely happy with it, but at least I've got power steering back again, and we can get the car started, we can get it in and out. I'm trying to sort out some more space. We'll see if that happens over the next few weeks or not. We'll just try. So anyway, yeah, obviously battery just thrown in the back for the moment. Work out exactly where it's going to go later, but at least we've got the cables run and we've got the principle done now. So yeah, just wanted to say thanks again for everyone this year. It's been great view wise, and everyone liking my videos, most of the people anyway. So yeah, hopefully I'm doing some entertainment for you guys, and hopefully you can meet up at some point in the future, in the middle of the year. So yeah, don't even know what we've got for dinner now. We've got some steaks, I think we've got to eat, and potato gratin, potato dauphinoise type stuff. Do like those. So anyway, yeah, let us know what you're having, and let us know what you're up to. So again, yeah, please hit the like button. It really does help. Yeah, share it with people that you don't know. And yeah, if you don't watch it, keep an eye out for the 6R4 Car SOS video that's on tonight, or would have been on tonight if you're watching this tomorrow. It was on yesterday, Nat Geo somewhere. And again, keep an eye out for me in a few weeks' time as well. Okay, well, I thought I'd spend the last hour of the day just mucking about and not actually doing anything productive too much. I bought my old dash down here. This is my AIM MXS Strada dash. I got it for the rally car. It's actually my 10th anniversary present from work. We were allowed a timepiece, and this was a timepiece. So yeah, it's good. Never actually really got used in the race car. We put it in there, we drove it up and down the yard a couple of times, and that was it. So hopefully we'll get to use it more. Basically it connects onto the ODB2, so if we turn it on, and it gets all its information from the ODB2. You see, like temperature, turbo pressure, engine load 15.59, not quite sure. And yeah, so yeah, if I obviously start the engine up, which obviously I could do, you'd see the revs go up. But yeah, glad that's working again and still working. And I've got some other attachments to it as well, so let me just see if I can dig them out. Let's see if they still work. I was hoping I was going to show it to work, but it came with a GPS sensor. Comes with a LCD screen thing, memory card logger, so that records all your data, and that's a screen there that you can actually then see what's on this bullet cam. So you can then mount this bullet cam wherever you want to, and it records it. So basically that records it, and it also then overlays all your information, your GPS information, your track information, your rally stage that I could be on, and all your revs and temperature, so you can see where I've blown up. So yeah, I'm pleased this is all working. We'll pack it away because it's just going to get too dusty down here. And thanks to my daughter who printed a 3D shroud for it, which is great. Came off Thingiverse, so she didn't design it, but she printed it all for me. Christmas present there. So yeah, all right, I'm pleased. That will work. The ECU's not on, so it's just I've just randomly put it onto some 12 volt, which obviously looks like it switches when it bish bish bosh when I turn the ignition on. Anyway, I think this needs charging. I think it's got a battery pack in it, so we'll take it home and charge it. Anyway, have a good one. Enjoy Car SOS, and hopefully see you Saturday.